Hello everyone, I'm SK Chasal. I'm going to teach you chemistry, especially about the chemical bonding. In the previous video, I had informed you about the ionic bond, especially I had informed you about the Cousins-Lewis dot structure. In that I had already given you that how to complete the Lewis dot structure and how each and every element will gain its octet. I hope all of you have done practice. I have given you some homeworks also in the previous video, and I hope that everybody had solved that each and every questions whatever I had given you in the previous video. But if you are still having doubt related to the Lewis dot structure, then definitely I'll clear your all the doubts. You have to just put your doubts into the comment box section. So definitely I'll solve your all the doubts. But I will solve 2-3 more that Lewis dot structure, that how to put Lewis dot structure and how to count the total number of electrons. So let's start. That Lewis dot structure according to the octets rule. If I talk about, as I had given you also in the homework, about carbon monoxide, carbon dioxide, nitric acid, sulfuric acid, how you will complete these molecules or compounds Lewis dot structure according to the octet rule. So just you know very well here, carbon has total how many valence electron? Carbon has total, we know very well, total carbon is having 4 valence electron. 1, 2, 3, 4. And oxygen, how much total valence electron is having? 6 valence electrons, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now just suppose that each and every element has to complete its octet. So in this compound, how carbon monoxide will complete its octet? Or if I talk about the carbon dioxide, so in the carbon dioxide it was very simple, that carbon dioxide was there, oxygen is having 6 valence electron. So you can see it was very easy, and I hope all of you have done in the previous video also that how these elements complete. So you will see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So what carbon will do? Carbon will just share this 8 electrons. And what's about this oxygen? Oxygen is having 6, and here 2 electrons this oxygen will take, and this 2 electrons oxygen will take. So total number of electrons, if you count, 8 for oxygen, 8 for carbon, and 8 for oxygen. So total number of electrons, especially Lewis octet rule, according to the Lewis octet rule, each and every element has shared their 8 electrons. Now just I want to ask you about the carbon monoxide, and if you have solved this question in the carbon monoxide, that how they have completed their oxide, can you tell me that how you have done this carbon monoxide? It's a very important question. I hope that everybody had done also. In the previous video I taught you also. Can you just do it, this carbon monoxide Lewis dot structure? I hope everybody is just suppose that 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So carbon will just take this 4 and 4, 8 electrons. And here you can see here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 is there. Oxygen will take its 2 electrons. So total number of electrons, if you want to count, then here the 8 electrons of carbon and 8 electrons of oxygen. Total number of electrons will be 16. See, remember what happens. Generally the student will ask, sir, how 16 electrons? Here the carbon is having 4 only and oxygen is having 6 only. So total number of valence electrons should be 10. No. Now these 4 electrons are being shared with the rest 4 oxygen atoms electrons. So now the carbon is having 8 electrons. And if I talk about the oxygen, then oxygen is sharing 2 electrons of the carbon atom, then it is having total 8 electrons. So in this way, if you want to count the total number of electrons, so you can see that how to calculate the total number of electrons, and the total number of electrons is denoted by T also. Remember this word. If I ask you ammonium plus NH4 plus, if you want to count, then how many total number of electrons are there? You know very well the nitrogen is having total number of valence electrons is 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here that is NH4 plus. You know very well here hydrogen will be there, hydrogen will be there, hydrogen will be there. Here one hydrogen will be there, but it is having a plus. Plus means what? One electron is being already removed, means plus. So here you can see that hydrogen will complete its duet This hydrogen will also complete its duet. This hydrogen will also complete its duet. Now let's talk about the NH4 plus ammonium ion. You can see here already 5 plus 3 is total 5 electrons of nitrogen and 5 electrons of this hydrogen. So it will be 8 electrons. But how you will draw this Lewis dot structure, how you will write this Lewis dot structure, and how you will say that NH4 plus is having this type of structure. Can anyone draw the structure? And similarly to this topic, we will also come towards the formal charge. I have drawn this structure only and only because of that ammonia you can draw very easily. NH3 ammonia structure will be this only. You can just remove this, and H3, you know very well ammonia, so this will be having total 8 electrons, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and 8, total 8 value. But if I talk about here that ammonium plus ion, then how you will tell what will be the charge of nitrogen in this compound? Now you just suppose the hydrogen has loosed its 1 electron, and this both the electrons hydrogen had occupied. Now let's talk about the nitrogen. Nitrogen, already this 1 electron is loosed and the 2 electrons have been shared with the hydrogen atom. So this will be the valence dot structure of ammonium plus ion. Remember, dear students, whenever if anyone will ask you here, nitrogen is having 8 electrons, hydrogen 2, hydrogen 2, hydrogen 2, hydrogen 2. So total number of valence electrons 8 plus 8 is equal to 16. Remember, whenever you want to calculate the total number of valence electrons of any atom, you have to just complete both the atoms' octet. As already I have informed you in the covalent bonding that both the atoms share their electrons. What do? Both the atoms share their electrons and they form a covalent bond. Now my topic is about formal charge. Our today's new topic is formal charge. So let's start about the formal charge. What is formal charge? If anybody will ask you about the formal charge, can you tell me what is formal charge? Any of you? See, first of all, you should do the practice of the skeleton and the shared, unshared pair electrons. Draw the Lewis dot structure of many more ions like sulfate 2 minus. If I ask you to draw SO4 2 minus ion, how you will draw? Can you tell me? SO4 2 minus ion. It's very easy. I hope if you know them. It's very easy. Draw the Lewis dot structure of SO4 2 minus ion. SO4 2 minus ion. What do you have to do? Sulfur you have to keep in the central, all the 4 side oxygen, 1, 2, 3, 4, and total charge is 2 minus ion. So what will happen? You know very well the total valence electron of sulfur is how much? 6, yes? Here oxygen and sulfur, both the atoms have total 6 valence electrons. You know very well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now tell me about the sulfur. Sulfur is also having total 6 valence electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, how sulfur has to share only 2 electrons to complete its octet. You can see here in this ion. But how the oxygen will share the electron pair, you know very well. Now what will happen? 1 electrons will be shared. Half electron you can see here. In both the sides, there will be a bond shared pair. And if I talk about this arrow symbol, you can just see here, both the side I will put here one arrow. What is the meaning of this here arrow here? Here both the electrons are shared. See here. Here both the electrons are shared. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7 and 8. So oxygen will occupy 8 electrons. But if I talk about this arrow, what is the meaning of this arrow? You know, here the arrow means that only half electrons is pushed towards the sulfate ion. So if you want to draw this structure, you will see here each and every element will complete its octet. What they will do? They will complete its octet. If you just want to show without showing the arrow, then you can directly show here sulfur 1, oxygen, 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 oxygen. This 4 oxygen is there. You can show the valence electron. So you can see here, total if I talk about this oxygen, So this oxygen will take these 2 electrons, right? This oxygen will take these 2 electrons. You can see here 6 plus 2, 8. Similarly, these 2 electrons, this oxygen will take. Similarly, now just talk about this oxygen, this 2 oxygen, this 2 electrons, this oxygen will take. But what about this oxygen? Now if they have shared pair, now again there will be a half sharing of 1 electron. So that's why here there will be this shared pair electron. So you will see here all the oxygens are having octet, and here 1 electron sulfur will take from these 2 oxygen, and sulfur will complete its octet. So if you talk about the total number of valence electron, total number of valence electron 8 4s are 32 and 8 5s are 40. 42 valence electron means 42 number of total electrons. 40 is here and 2 more electrons is here. But remember here, as I have told you about the half shared pair electron. So remember these words, why I am putting here arrow. The putting of arrow is because here you can see the 8 electrons oxygen has taken, 8 electrons oxygen has taken, but here only 7 electrons. That's why they are doing this half bond, means what? The 2 electrons are here. Here also the 2 electrons. So this will also complete octet, this will also complete octet, and sulfur will also complete its octet. See, remember, just you have to understand about each and every element must have 8 electrons. How many? 8 electrons in their outermost cell. Okay, just remember these words, so definitely you will be able to know how to draw the Lewis dot structure. Now I am moving towards the formal charge. You know very well what is formal. Can you tell me what is formal? Leave. Have you ever heard the word formal? Leave the formal charge. Tell me about the formal. You know very well, whenever you are going to school, you are wearing uniform. But have you ever thought about your dad's uniform? They are wearing formal shirt, formal pant to go in their office, right? But here is about the formal charge. I am talking about the valency oxidation state. Similarly, there is one charge called formal charge, right? Our new topic is formal charge. So, formal charge. Before understanding the concept of formal charge, I would like to inform you about the shared pair, lone pair and bond pair. You must understand the repulsion concept. Repulsion of electrons is maximum. Repulsion means what? You know very well, the like charge repel each other, right? So the repulsion between the electrons and electrons, electron, there will be a repulsion, you know, but you know very well in an orbital, they are having orientation. In the orientation, the electrons are situated with each other. So now question is, in which conditions there will be a more and more repulsion? Just talk about the oxygen, right? So you just know very well there are total 6 valence electrons of oxygen. In this, just suppose here also there are 2 and here 4. So there are total 6 valence electrons of oxygen. How many? 6 valence electrons. So here also 6 valence. In this 6 valence electrons, only 2 electrons are doing the bonding. Means the 2 electrons are doing the sharing of electrons. Rest, these electrons which are not taking part in the bond, these electrons are known as lone pair electrons. Lone pair electrons. Okay. So these 2 pair of electrons are known as lone pair electrons. Now you have understood what is lone pair electrons. The electrons which do not take part in making bond or in sharing bond. Okay. So these are called lone pair electrons. These are called shared pair electrons. What are these called? These are called shared paired electrons. Shared electrons or shared pair electrons. There are two electrons, so shared pair electrons. And this total 6 are called valence electrons. So got it? How many types of electrons? 3 types of electrons. Total in a free atom, in the outermost cell, whatever the number of electrons are there, that is called valence electron. The electrons which do not take part in a chemical reactions are called lone pair electrons, and which take part in a bonding formation, they are called shared electrons. So there are 3 total electrons. So what will be there will be bond pair, bond pair. There will be lone pair, lone pair. There will be lone pair and bond pair. Now question, there are three types. As I have told you, lone pair, bond pair, and bond pair, bond pair. So three types. Now question is about the repulsion. Where is the greatest repulsion? So remember, lone pair electrons will have maximum repulsion than lone pair, and this will also have then bond pair, BP, bond pair. So the maximum repulsion is in lone pair. So these two electrons will repel each other. So these both will go 4. Means very far away. Lone pair, maximum repulsion. Bond pair, minimum repulsion. This word you must remember in your mind. Why I have told you? Because in this formal charge, we are going to use these electrons. So the formal charge on an atom is the difference between the valence electrons or number of valence electrons in an isolated atom. Means whatever the valence electrons are there in a free state atom. So that's why I have written the formal charge on an atom is the difference between the number of valence electrons in an isolated atom and the number of electrons assigned to that atoms according to a Lewis dot structure. So here you can see the formula charge or formal charge, you can understand. Formal charge is equal to total number of valence electrons, as I have told you, valence electron, total number of non-bonding electrons. Non-bonding electrons means these lone pair electrons which are not doing bonding. They are called non-bonding or lone pair electrons. And minus half into total number of bonding electrons with shared electrons. So the formula is formal charge F dot C dot is equal to, formal charge is equal to valence electron minus lone pair electron minus half into shared pair electrons. Remember this formula. According to this formula, you can definitely take out any atoms of the compounds formal charge. If I talk about, just suppose here O3, you know very well, oxygen. Oxygen, O2 you know, OO, oxygen you know, but ozone. In the ozone, all the three oxygen atoms will have that different formal charge. Different formal charge. Oxygen, oxygen, oxygen. Here 2, here 1. And here 1 minus. Okay. So this is our first example of NCERT textbook also, if you have them. Okay. Otherwise you know very well here. So there are total 3 oxygens. 1, 2, 3. Now you have to calculate the formal charge of all the 3 oxygen atoms. All the 3 oxygen, and remove this minus. Just take here 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now oxygen number 1. How many lone pair electrons will be there? Remember, first of all, you should know about the lone pair electrons. How many lone pair electrons should be there? Okay. So you know very well here. Total how many oxygens are having electron, valence electron? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and here 1, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And here, just see here, you must understand the concept about that how many lone pair they are having. Okay. Since here only 1 electron, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this 6. Now here you should remember, because 1 electron this has taken, so here there will be only 1 electron. See here. Now tell me what will be the formal charge of oxygen first atom. First oxygen. Formal charge. Oxygen number 1. How many total number of oxygen number 1 formal charge will be? Valence electron of oxygen 6. Lone pair. Okay. Now what you will do in the lone pair? You will write the total number of electrons or 1 electron. Remember, lone pair means there are 2 electrons, so we have to write 2. What we have to write? 2. Now, so 2 we will write here. In the lone pair, pair means what? 2 and minus half into shared pair. How many shared pair? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total shared pair is 6 electrons. 2 3 are 6. So 6 minus 2 minus 3, that is equal to 6 minus 5, that is equal to 1. So if anybody will ask you what is the formal charge of oxygen, that is plus 1. Now similarly, if I will tell you to calculate the oxygen number 2, second oxygen, okay. So what will be the formal charge of second oxygen atom? Formal charge is equal to valence electron minus lone pair electron minus half into shared pair electrons. Okay, this is the formula. So formal charge, valence electron 6 minus. How many lone pairs are there? You can see here in the second oxygen there are total 4. Means 2 lone pair electrons are there, and in the lone pair means what we have to write? We have to write here total 2 lone pair means 2 2 are 4, and minus a half into shared pair. How many shared pair? 1 2 3 4 into 4. So here 2 2 are 4. 6 minus 4 minus 2, 6 minus 6 is equal to 0. So here the oxygen number 2 formal charge is 0. And let's talk about the oxygen number 3, the main important oxygen number 3. Okay. So here the formal charge, total number of valence electrons 6. Now here let us talk about the lone pair electrons. How many lone pair electrons you are seeing on the third oxygen atom? See, there are total, you just remember here these words. See, what I have told you here, there are total 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. The sixth electron is here. Okay. And here you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So total 3 lone pair electrons are there. So 6 minus 3 lone pair means 6. And shared pair how much? 2. So 2 2 cancel. 6 minus 1. 6 6 cancel. Minus 1. So what will be the formal charge of this third oxygen? That is minus 1. So in this way you can calculate any atoms or molecules formal charge. Remember the formula, formal charge is equal to valence electron minus lone pair electron minus half into shared pair electrons. In the lone pair electrons, 1 lone pair means 2 electrons. In the shared pair also, 1 shared pair electrons means 2 electrons. Similarly, if I talk about another atom, have you heard about the sulfuric acid or sulfate? Okay, so let's talk about another example. You can take a click. Just rewind the video and take a click so you will understand. I'm just going to give you another example. See this, just remember here how to represent the atoms. That is the main thing, how you are representing the atoms. Now I'm talking about the formal charge of sulfur. I'm giving you one structure, that is, you know very well, here if I talk about H2SO4, sulfuric acid. Okay. And in this sulfuric acid, if I remove H plus, then what will be the formation? HSO4 minus. So here I am drawing the structure of HSO4 minus. HSO4 minus. Here there is one sulfur. Okay. You can see the central atom sulfur is there, and total 4 oxygen and how many hydrogen? 1 hydrogen. So you know very well here. Oxygen, here there will be bond pair. Oxygen and here OH minus. Right? So this is the structure of HSO4 minus. HSO4, no, not minus here. Here there will be 2 OH, so here there will be minus. Now you have to calculate the formal charge of sulfur. Here you have to calculate the formal charge of sulfur. So now you know very well that what is the formula of formal charge? I am asking you about to calculate the formal charge. Formal charge, you know, we don't know formal charge. Formal charge is equal to total number of valence electrons. Here you have to calculate the formal charge of sulfur. Valence electron of sulfur 6 minus how many non-bonding? See, total number of valence electrons is 6, you know very well. Here this means 2 electrons the sulfur has shared, 1 and 1 2, 1 and 1 2. 2 electrons are shared with this both oxygen. Here you know 3 4 5 6. So there is no lone pair of electrons, right? In this HSO4 minus, the arrow means they have shared the 2 electrons, so there is no lone pair of electrons, right? And if I talk about the shared pair, so you can see here how many shared pair. There are 4 bonds, means 8. So here the lone pair is 0 minus half into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 into 8. 2 4s are 8. 6 minus 4, that is equal to 2 plus 2. So if anybody will ask you what is the formal charge of sulfur here, so that is plus 2. You know, sometimes you hesitate to ask, sir, where you know very well that there are total 6 valence electrons of sulfur, and you have mentioned here how the total 6 valence electrons, just suppose I am giving you again the same structure here, sulfur. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, total 6 valence electron. Suppose here oxygen is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, here also oxygen is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here oxygen is there, and here oxygen, hydrogen is there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and here also oxygen is there, and here minus charge. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and this minus is 8. Okay, now I have to tell you, this is the structure. Since we can't show here two double bond, why we can't show? Because you can understand, if I am showing here the double bond, then there will be more than 8 electrons in its outermost orbit. So that's why I am showing here the arrow symbol. As I will show the arrow, means what here? Means here the sulfur has shared both the electrons with this oxygen. Same here also, same here. If I have told you to calculate here only about the sulfur, if I talk about here about the oxygen, then tell me this oxygen formal charge. So what will be the valence electron of oxygen here? This oxygen, 6 valence electrons, minus lone pair 1, 2, 3, 4 lone pair, and bond pair 1, 2, 3, 4, half into 4. So 2 to the 4, 6 minus 4 minus 2, 6 minus 6 is equal to 0. So have you seen the formal charge? How to calculate the formal charge? Just take a click. If you can't take a click, then do one thing. Just rewind the video, pause the video, and write in your notebook. So I hope all of you have taken the screenshot or you have written these things in your notebook. So there are some examples of formal charge. What happens, the student do not understand by 1, 2 example. So that's why we have to give 4, 5 examples of this formal charge. So at least you should understand. We know very well the online interaction and offline interaction, there are two different things. So that's why we have provided you both the classes, online and offline. So whatever the videos are being uploaded on the app, you must watch that videos, make a notes of the chapter, and then we'll move ahead. Okay, so calculate the formal charge of SO3. SO3, you have to calculate the formal charge of sulfur trioxide. Will you be able to calculate SO3? First of all, you should remember 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oxygen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oxygen 1, 2. Oxygen, okay, so this is your diagram. Now calculate the formal charge of sulfur here. Formal charge formula, have you remembered? What is the formal charge formula? Valence electron minus lone pair electron minus half into shared pair electron. This is the formula of formal charge. So what is the valence electron sulfur? 6. Lone pair 0. Shared pair half into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 1, 6 2 12. I hope all of you have understand about the formal charge. Now we will move that what are the advantages of formal charge, what are the limitations of octet rule. The two things, what are the advantages of formal charge and the limitations of octet rule. I hope all of you have written this. Now advantages, what are the advantages of formal charge? First of all, write the advantages, give a heading in your notebook, advantages of formal charge. So what are the advantages of a formal charge? See, as I have written on the board, you can just take a click or you can write in your notebook. Formal charges helps in the selection of lowest energy structure from a number of Lewis structure for a given species. The structure which has the smallest formal charge on its atom is associated with the lowest energy and is thus the most stable. The formal charge is a factor based on a pure covalent view of bonding in which the electron pairs are shared equally by neighboring atoms. See, as already I have told you about the formal charge. In the formal charge, what you have learned, especially it is a covalent bond. Yeah, purely based upon a covalent bond. Second thing, it is sharing their electrons with the neighboring atoms. And after that, as you have seen, the lowest formal charge on an atom. Its lowest energy means most stable atom. So that's why I have written here. If it is having, you can see here, the number of Lewis structure for a given space with the lowest energy and is thus the most stable. Lowest energy means more stable form, and the formal charge is a factor which is purely based upon a covalent view of bonding in which the electron pairs are shared equally by neighboring atoms. So as we have seen what are the advantages of this formal charge, as we have seen the Lewis dot structure also, and the most important thing, see, each and every Lewis dot structure also, yeah, it was very fine, good, but they are also still having some of the limitations by which this theory was also filled. So now we are going to learn the limitations of Lewis dot structure, or you can write the Lewis or limitations of octet rule. Give a heading, limitations of octet rule. What are the limitations of octet rule? Now we are going to study about it. See, each and everything, whatever I am teaching you, just write these in your notebook so you will be able to understand that what I am teaching, and your notes will be prepared and that will be beneficial for your exam. So now just give a heading of limitations of the octet rule. Wait, this is not working. Limitations of the octet rule. So just give a heading. Now the first point of this topic, the limitations of the octet rule, that was, as in the NCERT it's written about the incomplete of the central atom, but if I talk about, there was a formation of compounds with the electron deficient atom. Formation of compounds with electron deficient atom. Formation of compounds. Just write this. Formation of compounds with electron deficient compounds. Atoms. Right? Write this first point. Yeah. So now, what were the limitations of this Lewis octet rule? So this all the limitations, yeah, you can write. I'm explaining, just listen also. While writing, you must have a focus on listening. That what are the limitations of octet rule? First of all, why there was a limitation? The octet rule is very much useful for understanding the structure of most of the organic compounds, and it is applicable to mainly second period elements of the periodic table. This rule is quite useful, but it is not universal one to explain many of the structure. So there are some limitations of this octet rule. First, formation of compounds with electron deficient atoms. Deficient means lack of electron. There is a less. So if they are having a less of electrons, then how there is a formation? As for example, as I have given you that lithium chloride, beryllium difluoride, BeF2, BCl3, boron trichloride. So you can see on the basis of the octet rule, the elements of group 1, 2 and 3 should not form covalent bonds because they have less than 4 electrons in their valence shell. Remember this one, if they are having less than 4 electrons in their valence shell, then they should form only and only ionic bond. But here they are forming the covalent bond. So that was the first formation of compound with the electron deficient atoms. Means if they are having a less of 4 electrons, then why they are forming the covalent bond? Because they have less than 4 electrons in their valence shell. So therefore they cannot achieve octet by mutual sharing of electrons. But some of the elements of the group do form covalent compounds like lithium chloride, barium difluoride, boron trichloride are the common example. You can see here, just generally I just want to say you that if I talk about the lithium chloride or beryllium fluoride or boron trichloride, so generally the second period elements should not form covalent form. They should just don't. You know very well lithium is an electropositive element and it's generally form ionic compound. Here by sharing one electron, it is doing the formation of covalent bond. It should not do. So there was a formation of compound with the electron deficient atom. Second one, the formation of superoctet molecules. Superoctet molecules means more than 8 electrons. Have you understood the first one? Formation of compounds with the electron deficient atom. In lithium chloride, lithium atom has only 2 electrons. In beryllium fluoride, beryllium atom has 4 electrons. So see, lithium you can understand that they are having the helium. But what's about the beryllium? What is the atomic number of beryllium? Beryllium atomic number is 4. Right? In the valence electron they are having 4 electrons. So now how? In boron trichloride you can see the boron is having only 6 electrons in this outermost shell. Then how these compounds are being formed? Not only these 3, I am giving you more example. Aluminum trichloride, boron trifluoride, beryllium means BeH2. So these are the formation of compounds with the electron deficient atom. Now second point is the formation of superoctet molecules like PCl5, SF6 and IF7. Now elements in and beyond the third period of the periodic table have, apart from 3p orbital, they are also having 3d orbitals which are vacant and they are available for the bonding. In the number of compounds of these elements, there are more than 8 valence electrons around the central atom. More than 8 valence electrons around their central atom. This is termed as superoctet or expanded octet. Violations of octet rule is observed in case of compounds like PCl5. You can just draw the structure of PCl5. You can see in the phosphorus they are having 5 valence electrons and all the 5 valence electrons are shared with the chlorine. So means more than 8, total 10 electrons are there in the PCl5. If I talk about the SF6, so there are total 12 electrons shared paired of the sulfur SF6. In IF7 there are total 14 electrons shared paired with the central atom. So they are having more than 8 electrons in their valence shell. So this is the formation of superoctet molecules. This is the second limitations. Some more examples are there except this PF5 or SF6 or IF7. I am giving you PF5, phosphorus pentafluoride also, sulfuric acid also, which are having number of coordinate compounds. Sulfur forms many compounds in which the octet rule is obeyed. In sulfur dichloride, the sulfur atom has the octet of electrons around it. Now, let's talk about the formation of compounds of xenon. You know very well, all the inert gas are well stable. Then why do they do the reaction? Octet rule says that the noble gases are inert, but xenon and krypton take part in bonding and form compounds with the elements like fluorine and oxygen. Here you can see HCF2. Xenon difluoride, xenon tetrafluoride, xenon oxyfluoride, xenon oxofluoride, krypton fluoride. So why there is a formation of this xenon? We generally say that octet or noble gases are inert. They are well stable. Then why there is a formation? There is a formation of odd electron molecules. Octet rule is not satisfied for all the atoms in certain molecules which have odd number of electrons. Odd number of electrons like nitric acid, you can see NO. Nitric oxide and nitrogen dioxide NO2. In the nitric oxide you know very well. Here the nitrogen 3 electrons should do pair, but in the NO you will see nitrogen 2 electrons are only doing the pairation. 3 electrons are still left. So odd electron system. Similarly in the NO2 you will see the nitrogen 3 electrons means one oxygen is doing the double bond and another oxygen is doing the single bond. So now there is a formation of odd electrons. So why there is a formation of odd electron molecules? This is the limitations of the octet rule. Fifth, There is an inability to predict the energy changes during the bond formation. You can't predict the energy while the bond formation. How many bonds are formed and what are the energies? It does not need to explain the relative stability of the molecules. And last one, that this theory does not account for the shape of molecules. So these are the few limitations of the octet rule. If anybody will ask you why limitations or why the octet rule has been failed, why the Lewis theory has been failed, so you just have to show all these 7 limitations. According to these 7 limitations, you can generally explain about it why there is a failure of Lewis octet rule. Generally the Lewis octet rule was very nice, but it can't explain the shape, size, structure and these few points. So first point, why there is a formation of electron deficient atom. Electron deficient means LiCl, BeF2, BCl3 and more compound, as I have explained to you also. As you can say that more compounds are BeF2, BCl3 or AlCl3, BF3, BeH2. So these are the few compounds which are having electron deficient atom. There are superoctet molecules PCl5, SF6, PF5, IF7. Similarly, the more atoms, they are having more than 8 electrons in their valence electron. They are doing the formation with the xenon. That was a very great point for the limitations of octet rule. After the formation of odd electron molecules and inability to predict the changes during the bond formation, and it does not explain the relative stability of the molecules. This theory does not account the shape of molecules. Shape of molecules, from this our the main points will begin. That was a hybridization that we will explain in the next video. I will talk to you about the hybridization. Whatever the things we have just learn in this video, don't forget to make notes. Whenever you are making a note, just rewind the video, listen what I have said it, write all those words, because I have explained these all the 7 points. You will see that only things are written, you have just taken a screenshot and you will just copy it. That is not. Whatever I had explained, I have explained you about the formation of compounds of electron deficient atoms, superoctet, formations of odd electron, formation of compounds of xenon and krypton, inability to predict the changes during the bond formations. So these all the things whatever I had explained, try to understand and write all those things. In the next video I will talk about the hybridizations, how this theory's limitations has changed and how there was a beginning of hybridization when 2 or more than 2 pure atoms has just overlap to each other to form a hybrid orbitals, the process called hybridizations, and these orbitals are also known as hybrid atoms. I hope all of you have understand this concept. So what today we have learned? We have learned about the Lewis octet rule, we have learned about the formal charges, we have learned about the advantages of formal charges, and we have learned about the limitations of octet rule. Generally, this theory's numerical type questions are being asked in IIT JEE advanced level, that according to the limitations of octet rule, there will be some questions like draw the structure of xenium fluoride XeF2. How? XeF4. How you will draw the structure? That all the things, these are the limitations. As you go through the limitations, you will get a concept. You generally will start solving the limitations. So whatever the doubts of these things you are having, just put your doubts into the comment box section. Definitely I'll help you. If you do not know how to draw the structures of electron deficient compound or superoctet compounds, I will help you in drawing. No need to worry, as we just have to just represent the valence electrons, and you can see that they are having more than 8 electrons, they are having less than 8 electrons. So less than 8 electron deficient compound, more than 8 electrons, they are superoctet compounds. I hope all of you understand about the formal charges also. Just do practice of the compounds of formal charges. Take any compound from your mind, the sulfuric acid, nitric acid, take out the formal charge of any atoms in that compound. You will be able to predict, yeah, really now I am able to understand about the formal charge, I am able to understand about the Lewis octet rule, I am able to understand the limitations of octet rule, I am able to understand the advantages of formal charge. That's all for today. I hope all of you have enjoyed this video, and if you have enjoyed this video, hit the like button, subscribe the channel and share this video with your friends so they can also be benefited. That's all for today. Thank you and namaste.